Hey, Eastern Oregon, welcome to AM on EOAlive. It's a good morning. How are you, man?
I'm good. That song's better, but it still sounds like a 1985 John Cougar Mellencamp song.
I know, but that is our age.
What? Speak for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. What you were in junior high in 85?
I was 6 years old, BC.
In 85?
I was born in 1979.
That's right.
I'm a Generation Xer. Or I'm right on the cusp of Generation X, and what's the one right before that? What's your generation? No, what's that? What's in between Boomers and Generation X? Is there anything?
I'm sure there's something.
I'm not a millennial. I know that. 100%, yeah, because millennials considered that one right after Generation X, like where they fully had the internet their whole lives. And
yeah,
so I didn't have the internet until like late high school.
So who was the music that you grew up on? The point where it's like you're like, man, this is the jive. What was it?
Like for me, or for you got to understand, my parents are like huge music people.
Right.
It's very diverse. Beach Boys. My very first concert was the Fat Boys, with Chubby Checker. A lot of Metallica, like back in the days, like early Metallica. Let's see. Steve Winwood is my mom's favorite. So a lot of Stevie Winwood, a lot of Cars, a lot of Heart. But then I was like diving into my own stuff, like trying to figure out my own way. And I kind of fell like more towards hip hop and R&B. And I had my very first album was like on vinyl was Thriller by Michael Jackson.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So then how old were you when Thriller hit?
I must have been, I think, what year did Thriller come out in?
Didn't it come out like 83, 84, maybe?
Right now, I think it was 82. So I didn't get it until I was about like 6 or 7. And my mom was a big vinyl person, and she still is. My mom has quite a vinyl collection. And I just thought it was cool. Although there was already tapes by then and obviously 8 tracks. But my very first tape was Coming Back Hard Again by the Fat Boys.
Wow.
Yeah.
So hey, if you're listening, tell us who was kind of the defining group for you when you were a teenager. I think that's most of the time when people start finding their own groove, their own stuff. It's kind of funny because so I'm going to totally date myself, but there'll be people out there that love it. So then I grew up in a Christian home, and so we listened to gospel music a ton. That was just a ton of what we did, and it's so much so that my family and I sang. That's something you probably don't know. We sang together, and
I knew you sang.
Well, right, but I mean, as a family. So that was a family thing. I mean, we'd sing, and when we go on vacation, we'd sing at churches and stuff like that. So, and then, but kind of the first thing that brought me out of that envelope was Barry Manilow right there.
I like Barry.
Yeah. In fact, I saw him in a concert 2 nights in a row at Red Rocks in Denver. It was a fantastic, and of course that was the very height of his career. And so they had a full orchestra and a full choir. And I mean, it was a big deal. My
dad took Jeffrey Forbes to Barry Manilow.
I know Jeffrey loves Barry too. Yeah. I'm going to switch this around here. So we're looking at each other a little bit. Okay. Yeah. So, no, I know Jeff. First time I ever connected with Jeffrey, he had a big old picture of Barry Manilow on the wall somewhere on his studio. I was like, dude,
Barry Manilow.
So, but then I take it back. So before that, then I have a friend who's a pastor's kid, which this was so funny, and he introduced me to Chicago, and that's
your band now.
Yeah, those were the days. Those were the days when we, he had a little cassette recorder, and we'd wait until the song came on the radio, and you'd hit record. You never got the front of the song because you didn't know when the song was going to come up, and so, Yeah, Searching So Long from Chicago 7, I think it was. That was kind of the first song that I ever was like, man, I love that. So
Yeah, we did the same thing, but we were poor. We didn't have blank tapes. We would take the CD or the tapes that we already had, like the ones that came from, maybe a Fat Boys tape.
Yeah.
And I didn't like side B, so I'd cover the holes, with tape and put it in there and record over side B off the radio. Kids nowadays know nothing about that. You had to work to get your music back in the day.
Yeah. Today, I mean, in a mixtape, that was like a whole thing.
Yeah, it involved work. You could give a girl a mixtape, and it was like giving her a diamond.
It's true, yeah,
because she knew how much
access
work you
to that
went through.
stuff.
Yeah.
No.
Nowadays, it's just bang them out, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, a mixtape is a playlist. Most people,
right.
They wouldn't.
Do people even have tapes anymore?
Well, we convert them occasionally.
Well, yeah, but I haven't seen a tape in ages.
Yeah. Well, I have boxes of them.
I'm sure you do. You got boxes of everything.
I do. I got boxes of stuff.
Boxes of cords, boxes of things that'll attach lights to poles, boxes of this, boxes of that.
Yeah. Yep. So then
would you consider yourself a hoarder, BC?
No,
just in production equipment.
No, not even that. I mean, I need to get rid of stuff. I think a hoarder has emotional attachment to stuff.
Oh yeah. It makes sense.
And I guess I would say that, I desire to get rid of things. Trust me. It's just that it's not as important as surviving the day. My whole life is based upon just getting through a day at a time. That's exactly right.
Mine too. I mean, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
I very rarely plan ahead.
Yeah. So
I can barely plan the day most of the time.
Sometimes my dear wife, Tanya, she'll come in at the end of the day. And for those of you who don't know, she works another full-time job, and then she comes to the office and does the books every night. And she'll ask me why something didn't get done. I was like, well, because it was not as important of all the other things I did today. It's pretty simple. Yeah.
It slowly got moved down the list.
Yeah.
It might have started the day at the top of the list.
Yeah. But well. Yeah.
Well,
hey,
got for weather. Let's check it. Oh man, it's gorgeous out today.
I know it's chilly, but it's pretty. And
I had a real nice conversation right there by that van yesterday. Mr. Howard Butts was walking by, and we talked for about 20 minutes. I hadn't seen him in a while. He's a close family friend. He's a retired plumber from out in Somerville. He's a cool dude.
Cool. Well, here's today's weather from Gabe.
Oh, let's see. Clear skies. We're gonna have nice sunshine. 47 at 3:00. I'm down. Let's keep on getting warmer. It's spring.
Yeah.
We're moving into spring. It's March 11th. Let's go.
Isn't that crazy? And then tomorrow,
that's Friday. It's gonna be even warmer. Mostly clear, sunny skies all day.
So and there's
low humidity. I like that.
And we have an LHS game tomorrow night, right? Is it
soccer? We have boys soccer at home against let's see, Baker at 4:00. And for people that don't know, Baker is LeGrand's rival now. It used to be Pendleton. So back in the days before LeGrand switched over to 4A, like the highest level in the state used to be 4A, and LeGrand used to be in the IMC with Pendleton, Hermiston, Redmond, Crook County, Mountain View, and Bend. That was the IMC back in the days. The 4 Central Oregon schools, and then us 3, and we were the smallest 4A school in the state. And then Pendleton was our rival. But then when they restructured and made it a 6A system, LeGrand fell into 4A, and so did Baker, and Baker became
a 6-day system. What's that? I don't know what that is.
So 6A is the highest tier of now. All the big schools are 6A.
6A. Sorry.
Yeah. And back in the days, Baker was 3A, and we were 4A.
Right.
But now Baker and LeGrand are both 4A, and they're our rivals.
Well, and it's kind of, and for people that don't know, they move schools around like that so that the competition is more fair.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So then,
yeah, but LeGrand's almost too big for 4A.
right. They're almost too big for 4A.
So we went from being the small fish to the
Right.
big dogs.
Right. But now when we play Pendleton, it's normally a pretty good game because Pendleton is a 5A school.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, we used to be in their league, so I'm all for LeGrand, winning championships and all this, but I'm also like, well, maybe we should look at the fact that we're in 4A and not 5A. We could probably compete pretty well at the 5A level.
Yeah.
But, get some state championships while we're here at the 4A level.
It's funny because I was taking a photo of a new provider that's coming into town, and she has kids that are in junior high, and they're, she's excited about them coming into the school district and so on and so forth. And it was just when I started, her kids they wrestle and they play football, and man, we've just done really well in both of those sports,
state
for a long period of time. Yeah.
Defending state champs.
Yeah. Yep.
When I was in high school, we were not good at football.
Well, and part of that is like consistent coaching, don't you think?
Yeah, that, and we were just drawn from such a smaller pool than all the other schools. I mean, we're playing schools in Portland that have 2,500 kids, and we had like 600 or 500 and something. It's a big difference.
Well, and part of it is having the feeder programs below it.
Absolutely, and we did not. We had Optimus football, but. And even baseball wise, we didn't have the strength that we have now in the youth sports. It's become more of a priority, I think, and it shows. Wrestling, there's always been a really good feeder. We were state champs in '96 at the 4A level, which is the top level. I mean, we're beating teams like Benson and like really good wrestling schools, Roseburg. And go ahead.
But they started. Jason Kerr was a part of starting that wrestling organization a few years ago, which was a feeder to the feeder. I mean, I think, but when you were here,
was always here. Matt Club's always been here. Yeah.
Has it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Matt Club before middle school. It's been here. It didn't start recently. They've been little kids have been wrestling in LeGrand since I was a little kid, since I moved here.
Which is incredibly important. I mean, for those kids those kids that started when they're 6 and 7, 8 years old. I mean,
you can totally tell.
Yeah, by the time they get to be juniors and seniors in high school, they're beasts on the mat.
Yeah, and when I was in middle school was when I first started wrestling, 7th grade. And you get I wrestled Pat Flynn. I talk about it on the show, and he was a little bit.
Pat wrestled each other.
He was quite a bit heavier than me, probably about 20, 25 pounds. He was bigger back then, and but he'd also wrestled since he was like 5. And it was my first year wrestling. So, I mean, that's a huge advantage. You walk out there and you just slap me around like I wrestled Pat Flynn in 7th and 8th grade. He was the big weight, the heavyweight, and I was just below him. But back then he was quite a bit bigger than me, a lot taller.
Yeah.
Now I tower over him.
No, it's kind of funny because I wrestled in junior high and high school too, and I'll never forget. Never forget when I was a freshman, high school. The first time, and I'm wrestling. I don't know. He was a junior or senior, and he just would twist me in knots in just a very short period of time. Yeah,
it's not very fun.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Wrestling is so personal. I mean, when you're
intimate is a better word.
Yeah. But when but it's a personal defeat or
I
mean,
it's
like when you're laying, when you're on your back staring at the ceiling and you hear, it's like, oh man, it's
no bueno.
Yeah. So,
no.
Well, hey, what else is up?
Let's see. What is today? Thursday. We got, tomorrow on the sports show, we're going to go with who do I have for tomorrow? I got to rack my brain, BC. I'm going to talk to a couple of the I've never had linemen on my show. So tomorrow I'm going to have 2 upperclassmen linemen from EOU football on the show. We're going to talk some linemen. Yeah. And they're both upperclassmen. They're both real smart. It'll be fun. It's
well,
gonna be
and
real
hopefully you can get them to talk a little bit about, some of the smarts behind being a lineman. You know what I mean? A lot of people, they just don't get it. They don't understand how.
Locker talk, like a lot of most people in college and the NFL will say that linemen are the smartest dudes on the team. Usually, it's really weird.
Yeah.
Like usually you're the center, like John Sullivan.
Right.
He's 10-year NFL career. Like you could totally tell that dude could have went to like Stanford or, you know what I mean? Like super smart. It's crazy. I had a friend message me yesterday and she was like, are you guys streaming the away games? And I was like, no, that's done through whatever school they're playing, and she goes, well, my son's starting, a first varsity game and he's playing the line. And I just sent her and she made like a face, like a, like an emoji like that. And I just sent her a message back and I told her, I was like, dude, I was like, linemen are badasses. Just saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not a bad thing that he's playing. He's small. He's not real big, but the lines, you got to be tough to play. I played defensive line. I know it's a different, and you got to be ready to get your butt kicked too. I remember playing Bend on the road. That's a long bus trip for a high schooler. You leave really early Friday morning for a Friday 7:00 at night game, right? So you get on the charter bus, you go all the way to Bend. It ends up being like a 6.5-hour drive. You get there, you warm up. And then you got to play against this dude named Kuykendall who ends up playing at U of O. And he's like 6'4" and like 300 pounds, senior in high school, got a full beard, looks like a grown man, and get your butt kicked the entire game by him. Which I mean, that's part of being a lineman.
Yeah. And you were a defensive lineman?
I was a defensive lineman, and he was an offensive tackle.
Right.
And I remember clearly one time they ran misdirection, so they ran a counter to my side, and of course my guy just let me by, and I knew something was up. I knew it was screen, counter, something. But by the time I got my wits, I was off my feet because he hit me so hard. Bam! On a he pulled and they ran the counter right at me and he just blasted me. Man. And he was a grown man. I mean, he wasn't a grown man, but he may as well have been.
Yeah.
It was so that being a lineman, you got to be tough. And then, like I was saying, those road trips too. The way back from Bend, we didn't get to stay the night either. So we would get right back. It was like 15 degrees. The field's covered with ice and snow. We have to get back on the bus after the game and ride all the way back. And I clearly remember laying in the middle on the ground, not even on the seats because I was so cramped up. Like my body was just, you go from that extreme hot, warm in the bus to the extreme cold, back to the extreme warm. And my body was just
cramped up. Yeah.
Yeah. We'd get home about 4:00 in the morning.
Man, you'd be exhausted.
5:00 in the morning. Yeah. And it just ruins your whole Saturday. I mean, at that age, you get home and you just sleep all the way. Like I probably slept till Sunday morning.
See, I played defensive lineman too, and then linebacker a little later on. And I mean, I loved playing defense more than I did offense, just because it's like finding a treasure every time. It's like, where's the quarterback? Where's the quarterback? Where's the play? Where's the pass? Where's the run? Yeah, I mean, but
unfortunately, I wasn't fast enough to play any of the skill positions like quarterback, running back, receiver. I played tight end a little bit, but I had really good hands. I could catch really well. I'm really coordinated, but I just didn't have the speed and I have a really good arm. I mean, I could outthrow most people. I could probably outthrow everybody in my class.
Yeah. Well, you were a pitcher. That was your thing.
I had a really good arm. Yeah. You know who has a really good arm too, and you wouldn't believe it?
Who's that?
Johnny
really?
Ballgame. Yeah, you give that kid a football, he can huck it. And he never played quarterback or anything. I mean, he'll tell you the story of playing varsity football, and most of the time he was on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually went to college for track.
Really?
Yeah, he went to UC Santa Barbara for track.
I was thinking about him last night, looking at Facebook, and he had a post that came up, and seems like he's doing well.
Probably chasing around cats or something weird like that.
No, it was with his friend, his other host, and he was just talking about his radio show.
Yeah. They're doing really well. Yeah, it's cool. If you guys want to tune into them, you can. Here it is. Look.
Yeah.
Show Johnny some love. They're doing really well over there in Boise, 93.1 KTIK.
So hey, let's talk about our podcasting and stuff, what we're doing, and making. I don't know. Why don't you talk about that? Tell us.
So as of last week, we hired somebody new. Alex McCad is joining our team, and he's going to be helping us out with behind the scenes stuff, a little bit of stuff on this show. And one of the things that we're doing to branch out is we're going to really start working on our social media, Instagram and Twitter. So follow us. If you don't follow us on Instagram or Twitter yet, do that. I mean, because there's going to be different stuff coming that way. And one of the things that we think will help us branch out is by turning everything into a audio podcast. And that's one of the things that Alex has been kind of tasked with, and he's already killing it. We'll have the AM on EOAlive on an audio podcast. We'll have Eastern Oregon Alive Sports on a podcast. We'll have the weather and the news roundup all on audio only. And then we're also working on developing a place, and I don't know whether it'll be on the website. We'll be able to share the link onto social media, but where you can listen to this live with just an audio link.
Right. And it's so if you go to our website, and right now we're fussing with stuff on the website, so it's a little bit of a mess, but right on our website, right, the first window is always whatever's live. That's right. A live window. And then right under that, there is a link where you can listen to this as an audio only live. So if you're working out or something, you can.
Or if you don't want to look at my ugly mug for 30 minutes, you can just click on the podcast and listen.
That's right. So yeah,
it's cool though. I think we're making moves in the right direction.
And then we're working on an app too.
Absolutely.
That again makes all of that content easier and more accessible. So all that stuff is
So the other thing I say is BC, throw up a email address up there so people can see it. Like you can put mine or yours, it don't matter. If you have ideas, or hey, you know what? If you have ideas, if you got for guests, whatever, email us. Let us know. I mean, it's not that we can't find guests. I mean, we can find guests. But the whole thing is, like, if you have somebody in your mind that we really need to talk to, that would be, engaging and awesome, shoot us an email.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, if there's an idea, like say you have this crazy idea where, let's get Dodzy to eat a ghost pepper and then stand on his head. I'd probably do it. Do it. You never know. I used to do dumb stuff like that on the ball game show.
Right. Yeah.
We'd have all kinds of dumb bets. Like one of the punishments was I had to stand out on the corner. Well, but thankfully I didn't do it. It didn't come to fruition. But one of my punishments was going to be I was going to have to stand on the corner of Adams and Island Avenue in a gi with Johnny's great nephew, who's like 8 or 9, in a gi, and teach him how to do karate on the street, even though I don't even know how to do karate. Gosh.
I would pay
have
for
some
that.
fun with that. One of the things coming up, and I will follow through on this. I lost a bet, and once COVID's gone, I have to be an EOU wrestler for an entire day, BC, from sun up to sundown. That's gonna be. I told one of the wrestlers, I was like, that's probably gonna kill me.
I would think so.
It's probably, and I told Azure, I was like, don't hold up on me. Like treat me like I'm a wrestler. Like make me finish the day. And so it's not going to be pretty.
So, let's talk about Met Trim and what's coming there a little bit.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah.
So I've decided to embark on a weight loss journey. And I've lost like 30 pounds probably already. But one of my goals and one of my things is I want to be here for my kids, and I'm overweight right now. I'm not like grossly fat. I mean, you can see, but I am overweight. And so we're teaming up with Metrim here in town, and the national company. And basically, I'm going to document my journey of doctor-assisted weight loss, not medication-assisted weight loss. Don't get that confused. It's just a doctor overseeing what you need in order to lose weight and to recalibrate your metabolism. And so moving forward, I think the initial meeting is tomorrow. And basically what I'm going to do is just document my journey on this weight loss thing. And I'm going to bring one time a month, I'm going to bring a guest from the community or from wherever that's been through the program and just kind of relate what they went through to what I'm going through and talk about it. And hopefully when it's all said and done, I'll be down to about 265. That's my goal weight. I think I wear 265 really well at my height. I'm 6'5". And I think that eventually one of the things that kind of scares me is I volunteered to do like pictures, and it's not necessarily that I have to, but I'm going to do pictures clothed and without clothes. So I'll have boxers on or whatever. And there's a possibility that it might be used as a part of their national campaign.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's where we're at. And moving forward, one time a month, and then one time a week on my show, I'll document my journey, bam, bam, on the sports show. And then one time a month, I'll have a guest on who's been through the journey, and we'll talk and we'll just kind of see where we go.
Yeah. So we've been working on this arrangement for a while. For those that don't know, the local Met Trim MD is owned and managed by Dr. Kopp, who is a longtime surgeon here in town and has now retired from his surgery career and is operating. And he's been I think he lost 100 pounds.
Yeah, over 100.
On this particular program. And that's one of the things that got him involved. So anyhow, we'll be talking about that more, but
absolutely.
I think that's going to be cool.
I think it is too. And the biggest thing for me, BC, is it's going to hold me accountable. Like you guys are going to hold me accountable. The people that watch my show are going to hold me accountable. And that's what I've been lacking. I can drop 30 pounds like that. My size, I can drop 30 pounds, no problem. It's water weight. It comes off fast.
Yeah. The
hard part is when you get when you plateau and you get to that point where you're not seeing the losses as fast. And I have an addictive personality. So I'm all about instant gratification. And that's something that, I'm working on, and it's that instant gratification. It doesn't come. And one of the things that I need when that doesn't happen is accountability. And the way I'm going to hold myself accountable is through my show and through you guys. So
yeah,
it's a win-win-win-win-win.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, and I'm excited for you, and I would join you, except I'm kind of on a different course. And I tell you what I'm doing. It's kind of funny. Jason Kerr is a friend of mine, and he has Kerr Chiropractic here and CrossFit, the CrossFit gym. And so CrossFit is intense. I mean, if you would talk to CrossFit people, it's like, holy crap, but I'm starting to do CrossFit 3 times a week. It's the craziest thing ever. And so
I need to see you do some CrossFit. BC.
Yeah, well,
I'll come in there and do it with you.
Don't see me do anything right now, because it's like, they have those animals all around me, and I'm like, I don't know. They have these things called jump pull-ups. You know what a jump pull-up is?
Yeah, I know what it is.
Yeah, jump pull-up is for those people who can't do real pull-ups. It's like, you grab a hold of the bar and you jump as hard as you can, hoping that your chin is going to get above. Anyhow,
hey, you don't look as silly doing those as you do the banded pull-ups where you hang the bands and wrap them around your knees to give you.
I know, but I don't think I'm even coordinated enough to do that yet. So. Yeah, I mean, for those people that don't know, so if you can't do a real pull-up, they like hook these rubber bands around the top of the bar, and then that creates some lift for you. You put your knee or your foot in it, and it creates some lift for you. So if you I don't know, it takes maybe 50 pounds off so that you can do the pull-up. And I don't think they have bands that would equate to half my weight.
Yeah, even at my strongest, like when I was in the best shape, I could only do 2 pull-ups. But part of that was like the training that I did was to stay long and lean, because as a pitcher, you want your muscles to be long and lean. You don't want them to be short and compact. And long, lean muscles aren't real good for high weight, high impact lifts. But I could whip my arm pretty fast, and that's what you want, and trunk. Your trunk is really important as a pitcher. So I never really focused on upper body like bulk that much, but I could still do 2 pull-ups at the best, in my best shape. But there's dudes that can bang out 50, no problem. Like just bam, bam, bam. I'm like, but it's always the little skinny, short arm guy that can do.
Yeah, there's some physics in there.
Oh, absolutely. It's just like benching. Guys with the little short stubby arms, they can power out, it's crazy. Yeah. It's a shorter movement. They have more compact muscles. Well,
and it's funny. Let's quit here in a second, but I was listening to, I really enjoyed, you called a game, I guess probably been 3 or 4 months ago now. You called an EOU game, and and listening to you call that as a pitcher was very interesting, because you knew right off what kind of a pitch the guy was throwing or what his intentions were. And very seldom, I've just never, I learned some stuff just listening to you, and I've watched a lot of baseball and been to a lot of baseball professional games and stuff, but you don't really know the intentions of the pitcher. And you could just, since you came from that background, you knew what he was doing, or you understood his strategy just by the way he was throwing.
Yeah, most of the time. Yeah. Pitchers are pretty predictable in all reality. Like that most of the 99% of the time, a pitcher doesn't even pick what he's throwing himself.
Yeah.
It's more about studying the catcher and knowing the catcher's tendencies when it comes to pitches. But what the funnest thing about calling a baseball game is, BC, it's not even calling the baseball game. It's getting to know the people before the game so you can talk about them.
Yeah.
It really is. Like you sit down with each player for 5 minutes and you get a little background on them. Get something funny, maybe what they like to eat, and that's the real fun part of it for me. I mean, I love watching the game, calling the game, but the best part about it is that interaction with the players and getting to know them, especially with EOU now too. There's kids on the team that have ties to, like there's a Tolan on the team, and the Tolan family, I've been really close with them for over 20 years.
Yeah. John played, right? He played.
John played. His son played with me, Jake. I mean, I rode with them. I stayed at their house. It's just, it's Jake stabbed me through my hand with a knife on accident one time right before a football game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good stuff, man. Let me run through my list real fast.
Yeah.
It's short today. On this date in 1918, Moscow became the capital of Russia, which was huge at that time.
Which date?
On this date, on today, 1918.
1918. Okay.
1918. I only got 2 on this date because this is the most important one. On this date, 1 year ago, COVID-19 was declared a pandemic by the head of the World Health Organization. Wow. 1 year ago today, March 11th. That's crazy, huh?
That is.
We're officially a year in.
Well, and good news for Union County. We stayed in the moderate.
Yeah. We did. Baker went up.
Did they go up?
Baker went up a level. They were at the lowest, and they bumped up to moderate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, the number 1 song in the country was still Someday by Mariah Carey in 1991, 30 years ago. And my positive quote for the day is an anonymous quote. There's no name tied with it, but it is, you are confined only by the walls that you build yourself. And I'll re-say that. You are confined only by the walls you build yourself.
True story.
Profound.
Yeah.
EOU, or I said EOU, Eastern Oregon. We
Yep.
appreciate you guys, man. We'll see you on Tuesday, right, BC?
Yep.
It's already
good.
Thursday. We're powering through this week.
I know it. It's crazy. It's the middle of March already.
Let's get a heavy hitter guest lined up for next week.
Yep. Good deal.
All right.
All right.
We're out.